And now, How to Lose Your Job in 60 Seconds by Earl Thomas.
Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. No, the answer is no, we're not getting Earl Thomas, and I don't want Earl Thomas, and stop asking about Earl Thomas. Grossi, and today we are going to be talking about Earl Thomas. Before we get to that, I want to do a big shout and thank you to some brand new patrons and YouTube members. First, on patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy, we got Ishi Love My Niners and Tyler Schorsch. Thank you very much for your support. It is much appreciated. And over on the YouTube membership front, we got Kyra. Thank you for your membership. It is greatly appreciated. So Earl Thomas has been released by the Baltimore Ravens. That's after a year and a half ago. They signed him to a 4-year, $55 million contract. Oh boy. And as it stands right now, he is guaranteed $10 million for this season, which it's expected that the Ravens are going to try and void that. And on top of that, he's going to be owed money next year. Now, it's also expected that Earl Thomas is going to fight back against that, filing something with the NFLPA. And I'm sure that they're just going to go at it, just like Earl Thomas did in camp, which is why he got released. So in case you didn't hear, Earl Thomas on practice on Friday got into an altercation with safety Chuck Clark. That's right, his own safety punched him in the face. So that's something. The men were separated and Earl Thomas was sent home. And then Earl Thomas went to social media and was like, bye-bye, thanks for the chances, I appreciate it. Didn't really seem too broken up about it. The Ravens put out a statement that he was released for personal conduct that had adversely affected the team, and Coach Harbaugh refused to really comment on it further. Now, Thomas apparently had a string of issues when he was with Baltimore. For example, he was late a whole bunch of times to practices. In addition, about a year ago, he had an altercation with another player, nose tackle Brandon Williams. In addition, the Ravens are now left with Deshaun Elliott, a 2018 6th-round pick, as a safety option. So right now, the Ravens defense, who I still think will be very good, definitely has taken a hit when it comes to the amount of talent that is in that secondary. But the fact that they were willing to cut him and know that they're most likely gonna have to pay millions of dollars, even though he's not gonna be on the team, kind of just shows that the Ravens were just over Earl Thomas. Also, this is coming from his last hurrah with the Seattle Seahawks while he was on the cart and flipping off the sideline. And so, yeah, Earl Thomas right now, in short, is a free agent. And the question becomes, where does he go now? Now, one of the teams that is expected to take a look at Earl Thomas and potentially signing him is the Cowboys, considering that while he was on the Seahawks, Earl Thomas literally walked into the Cowboys locker room, went up to Jason Garrett and was like, please, save me. And when Mike McCarthy was asked about this, McCarthy says, listen, we're always trying to add players. However, it becomes an issue of, is he going to fit in with the locker room culture? So kind of giving us a non-answer on that front. He also expressed that he has a lot of faith in the guys that are already in that locker room. So it'll be interesting to see if he winds up getting a deal done with the Cowboys. I would imagine if he's going to find a team, because the guy is 31 years old. So while he's still a very good safety, you know, the clock is ticking a little bit. And so I'd imagine if he is going to get signed after an incident like this, it is going to be to a relatively short-term deal, maybe a 1-year deal, and definitely not for the amount of money that he was getting in Baltimore, just because teams are not going to want to risk that. There's also potential talks that he could go to a team like the 49ers, which would make my life even more sorrowful, but he would get to play against the Seahawks 2 times a year, so it would make for great television. Now, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, because you know, as soon as somebody gets released, I gotta get the DMs of, Tom, should we sign him? And the answer is absolutely not. We have Darnell Savage, we have Adrian Amos, and then behind that, we got Raven Green. We also got guys like Will Redmond, Vernon Scott. Give them a chance. And I love Savage, and I love Amos, and I think that they're gonna be great this year. As I've said now multiple times, I think that secondary is gonna be really good. Would Earl Thomas be an upgrade? Sure, absolutely. But it also is going to come at the expense of a guy like Amos or a guy like Savage or one of these other guys who could potentially make an impact and we wouldn't have to pay a lot of money to. So right now, I say absolutely not to go getting Earl Thomas. It's just not worth it, and I don't think at this point it's a huge position of need. A few years ago, yeah, I would have said take a flyer on him. Why not? Let's see what happens. But right now, I think for the first time in a while, we're actually pretty established at that position, so I don't really think it's a need for the Packers to bring a guy like Earl Thomas in. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think that the Packers should go after Earl Thomas? And if not the Packers, who is going to take a flyer on Earl Thomas? I mean, is he going to be a package deal with Antonio Brown? I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll sign with the Browns. Myles Garrett hits people in the head with helmets. Earl Thomas just is a little bit more conventional and traditional and uses his fists. Could be a 1-2 punch combo. Let me know what you think. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media, see down below. Check out Patcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. We got Madden Mondays tonight, and it is the playoffs, baby. Playoffs! This is it. We're going for it all. And then Madden 21 comes out, which I'm still on the fence if I'm going to buy, because I hear that it's straight trash. Stay tuned. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.